And I was getting it after prelims, and Bob came up to me. He's like, "All right, that was great." I don't know. It's just like he came up. I think because I think he just saw me, you know. So he was like, "All right, so that was great. So what are you gonna work on in semis?" And I'm like, "This is crazy. Like Bob Bowman, what?" And he's like, "So what are you gonna work on for semis?" I'm like, "You know, I could not breathe out of my turn and just make it tighter." And he's like, "That's all you got to do. It's one round at a time. Don't think about that end thing just yet. It's
Mm-hmm.
one round after the other after the other." And I love it because Jack Bowerly at Georgia to me would say the same thing. One at a time, one at
Yeah.
a time, one at a time. Sometimes we overwhelm ourselves with this entire big like cosmos and pressure of this making the Olympic team or
Yeah.
making an A final or getting a best time, but you don't realize it's step after step. And we want to
Yeah.
get to that end line so quick, but it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. And also like when I do this, I'm gonna feel like this, and then it's this.
Yeah.
The world's gonna change. I'm gonna be
Yes.
different. And
Exactly.
I don't know. It doesn't really
Doesn't work.
happen.
It doesn't. Sometimes it does, but you know, with like a trick to that is like, so let's say you want to feel that way once you get it. So like, I'm gonna feel amazing or whatever. It's like, um, I don't know if you know Joe Dispenza.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So it's like attune yourself to the feeling now. Feel that
Mhm.
way now, and you'll be able to attract those things. And
Mhm.
obviously, a lot of caveats with it, perhaps too, in like the sport. But yeah. And so then I moved to ASU for Bob, and I was so pumped. He like welcomed me with open arms, and I was so loving this new program.
Mhm.
I was like, everything's so new and different and super intense, and I'm like training with Bob Bowman. This is amazing.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
amazing. But the whole year had been so touch and go.
Mhm.
I never took a break after 2021 Olympics.
Mhm.
I went right into ISL. Then I went right into ASU. And then our trials were in April, which is like 2 months earlier than they normally are. I got really sick in Christmas. All these things that can happen,
Yeah.
perfect recipe. And I didn't end up making the team. And Bob came up to me after. He's like, I think you need to take a breather.
Mhm.
He's like, we didn't even get a chance to put in a solid workload together
Yeah.
because of all these like moving parts. And it was really cool to hear from him and
Mhm.
feel his like support, and then to come back in 2023 and then make the team and training in tandem with Bob and Herbie. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and like also finding a solution that worked for you, like
Mm-hmm.
incorporating Herbie's practices, I guess also were like so refreshing. I wanted to talk about your college days too.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, I met Jay and we were
Yeah.
all talking, and
Uh-huh.
yeah, you guys are so cute together.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk mainly or like firstly actually I want to talk about your freshman year,
Yeah.
because I know freshman year is just a crazy year for everyone in college, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I want to see your point of view, your perspective on how you felt your freshman year.
I love my freshman year. I had so much fun my freshman year. I loved it. I loved the freedom.
Mhm.
I love being able to do my own thing. No, besides of course school
Yeah.
and practice, like no schedule or anything. Georgia's so dope. I loved it. I had the best roommate situation. My two roommates, who I started rooming with when I was 18, were still best friends to
Wow,
this
that's
day,
so good. Oh.
like literally 12 years later.
Mhm.
And yeah, my freshman year was awesome. It was a lot to like, a lot of change,
Yeah.
a
And
lot to
change can be
adjust.
good. Change is good
Change is good.
sometimes.
Change is
Yeah.
good. Change helps you evolve. Change, yeah. I remember eating shit like the for whole first half of the season because I never trained long course in high school,
Oh.
and so I was always in the back of the lane like till October. Like I was like so down bad. I never trained like this before. I never lifted weights like any of that. So it was really um humbling. Humbling, but I loved it. I loved racing. I loved racing for the team, and it was so awesome. And then when we went to NC's, um, like I won the 50. It was really
Oh,
cool. Yeah, it was really cool. And then all the girls like came up behind the blocks, and just having that support system was so awesome because um in high school I had my high school team, but then when I would train club and go to these like bigger meets or
yeah,
international meets, I would be so low, maybe like a couple of us. So
yeah.
having like this team was really cool, but yeah, it was definitely a lot to adjust to,
But
but
in a
it was
good
fun
way.
in a good way, in a
Yeah.
really good way. It was really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so interesting, like, to see the contrast between, like, when you're not in college swimming versus, like, college swimming. Like, from where I swam in Hungary, I was the only girl on my team. We were, like,
Yeah.
maybe it was five other boys or, like, six other boys.
Yeah.
But, like, it wasn't, like, a thing where you were like, let's go, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't that
Mhm.
hype, like, whatever that we have in, like,
Yeah.
college usually.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to get to swim in a team, in like a real team, you know what I mean? Like, in the beginning I was so scared to like shout out like let's go guys or something like that.
Yeah.
And like when you come here, like encouraged so much to like cheer for your teammates, motivate everyone, and like be a leader in your own way.
Mhm.
And I think, yeah, I think it's really cool. I feel like this is my point of view. I feel like if anyone passes up on the opportunity to swim in college,
Think
they,
again.
yeah, like
Yeah.
think again.
Yeah.
Like it's so it's so so different and so
So different.
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
and it can like change you. It does.
Mhm.
It changes you as a person.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with
Yeah.
you. The best swimmers like in the world really
Yeah.
trained in college.
Yeah,
Did
literally
college
like
collegiate swimming. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
I want to talk about your love life. So I think it's really interesting. Well, me and my friends talk about this. It's like the person we meet in college is
Mm.
like has a really high potential to be our person for like the rest of our lives.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's crazy to think about, like, my friend just started dating a guy and I'm like, he might be the last guy you'll ever date. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just crazy to think about.
yeah.
So, like, yeah, I want to hear
Yeah.
about your and Jay's like story, cuz
Mhm.
I want to know how you guys met, cuz you guys were on the same team. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. Jay and I
Mhm.
were homies for forever. So it's actually a crazy story. In 2012 Olympic trials, and this was the most, actually, wait. Yeah, in 2012 Olympic trials, Jay and his brothers were there because they all swam in Dynamo. And there was this girl, Kylie Stewart, who swam on Dynamo, incredible backstroker. She swam at Georgia too. Um, we were friends,
Mhm.
and we saw, we just were talking at trials, and Jay said that he saw me or whatever there, and it was just so beautiful. Like, so that was actually when we first met, but I
Mhm.
was so like, I just didn't, I was so in my zone. Like, I don't remember really meeting many
Yeah.
people. Um, but then when he came to college, we became homies like so quick. So he's a year younger than me.
Good.
um, no, and and so he came in when I was a sophomore, and we became like better friends like as we got older. So like maybe my
Mhm.
senior year and my fifth year
Mhm.
is when we started to just become really good friends. And yeah, we just got each other. We kind of thought the same way about things. Like we had the same mindset about um like life.
Yeah,
Just about
yeah.
life in general. Like our values really aligned, and the way we thought about life like really aligned
Mhm.
too. Um it was just like I could just be myself. Like I didn't have to
Yeah.
change a thing about myself, and I was just like we were good. It was like the best friends. And it was so amazing that we were friends first.
I was gonna say it's so good to be
Mhm.
friends first too.
Yes, so good, so good. Because it's like there's a level of understanding, and there's also like this level of like it's like a different respect too. It's
Mhm.
like you're my homie like
Yeah.
first,
Yeah, yeah.
and then like now of course that we're
Yeah.
dating, it's just like I just see him as like my best friend first, and then my lover as
Yeah.
well.
Lover.
um, but then around COVID is when we got close, like started flirting, like da da da, all that stuff.
Oh.
And then by Tokyo, we we really liked each other. Like we told each other we like each other, duh, or whatever. However we said it.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah, then we just have been dating since then. So like we just celebrated our 3 year anniversary.
That's really cute.
Yeah, yeah,
Aw, I love
yeah.
that.
Thanks.
It's so cool to see like the summer couples. You've been here for 3 years now, right?
Yep.
Do
Yeah.
you like it? What are you thinking in terms of like the future, like looking ahead, in terms of like
Mm.
even like where you want to live and like
Yeah.
everything? Just tell
I
me.
know. Tell you. I'm really in the process of doing that right now. Jay and I actually just signed a year lease here.
Mhm.
So we'll be here, but we both have our own separate things in the works that we're working on. I've been working on
Mhm.
this new project. I'm so excited to drop but by the top of the year that will have me kind of moving around a lot.
Mhm.
Jay will be in Japan a lot,
That's so cool.
working on music with his brothers.
Mhm.
So this will be our home base.
Yeah.
I do have a rough plan of like how I want the year to go and where I would potentially want to move, but we probably will move from Arizona in the
Mm.
next year.
Oh.
And yeah, so that's kind of like where we're at. And I do love it. I mean, I love the ASU team so much. I love the coaching staff so much.
Yeah.
It was such a breath of fresh air only because I had been at Georgia for like 8 years.
Yeah.
In that way, it's just like fresh, new
Mhm.
people. I've someone like I've created such amazing friendships in these
Mhm.
short 3 years alone, um, with the girls like in our side of the locker
Yeah,
room
yeah.
with
I was on that
together.
side last
Yeah, I
year.
know. And the sprint guys and girls,
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
Herbie. So it's been amazing. But in terms of like swimming, if you're asking,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I hadn't swam since trials until this morning.
Wait, did you go to Mona? Where'd you
I
go?
went to Lifetime,
Oh,
actually, with
that's
Jay.
so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I was like, you know what? Like, I woke up this morning and I was like, I want to dive into a pool so bad. I haven't had that feeling in so long, which is why I think breaks are so important, especially the longer you do something.
Mhm.
Like, I can't recommend them enough. So it was like June, July, August, September, October, November, December, like almost
Yeah.
half a year, which is a huge break. Like, this is like,
Mhm. But
huge
needed.
needed because I was like, I would do check ins like every month. Like, do I want to go swim right now? Can I? No. Do I want to go swim right now? No. And I love swimming with my life. Like, I love the pool. I
Yeah.
love being in the water, truly. Like, no, not even to be corny. Like, I love swimming. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and so the fact that I was like, I don't want to do it really spoke volumes to me. I was like, I'm going to honor this as much as I can.
Yeah.
But today, that all changed.
Good. How did it
Yeah.
how did it feel?
Felt so good. My like knees was aching and my shoulder was like, oh god, I have to like get back in the gym or do something. No, but it felt amazing. It felt so good.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Thank
I'm
you.
really happy for you for
Thank you
like
so
sharing
much.
that actually.
Yeah.
I want to know about your retreat that you went to
Hmm.
because I think that's really cool that
Yeah.
have always wanted to go on a retreat too.
Yeah.
Like after my year last year, I had like a bad second semester, like really bad.
Mm.
And I was like maybe I just need to like be transformed into this new person and go on a retreat.
Yeah. Totally. It was life changing actually. It was so surreal. All of these things that like we've talked about here, like I really had to face like on a much deeper level, like not only in terms of swimming or whatever, but as these emotions play out in life. And it was a beautiful experience to go on. They didn't take our phones, but it was really recommended that we just don't
Yeah.
use our phones at all unless you want to take a picture of
Yeah.
something. And I would use my phone to check in with my family because I told them, I was like, yeah, so I'm going, to like Portugal for this week-long retreat. Like, I won't be using my phone. And my parents are like, why? Like, what do you? But I think they're like used to it by now. That I'm like, if I set my mind to something, I'm gonna do it. And they're just like, okay, Olivia, like, yeah. So I was checking in with them, and I was checking in with Jay,
Yeah.
and just letting him know I'm like safe and good. That was really cool to like get off of Instagram. because I love posting on Instagram. I love being on Instagram. I love following like my friends and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But it like I realized apart from Instagram, I was like living life apart from telling anyone about it. But I was like,
Yeah.
I know that seems so. People who are probably like in the older generation are like, yeah, Olivia, yeah, or whatever. But even still, before Instagram, like just looking back, when you would just like ride your bike with your friends as a
Mhm,
kid, and you go to
mhm.
the park for hours on end, and it's like
And you like didn't post it.
didn't post it, like,
Yeah.
and I do love to post because I actually love the creative aspect of it, of
Mhm.
like putting a picture up and putting some music, and
Yeah.
it's like almost like a journal entry type of
Yeah.
thing, or whatever. And yeah, so I like that part, but that part was really awesome. But um we yeah, we were at this retreat center in the southern coast of Portugal. I had a roommate, Willow.
Oh, that's
um
such a nice name,
yeah,
Willow. That's such a retreat
Willow. I
name.
know.
Like you would find someone named
Yeah,
Willow in a retreat for
right,
sure.
exactly. And she was amazing. This retreat wasn't so much meditation, like you sit and you meditate for hours on end,
Mhm.
although every morning was a silent morning, so we
Mm.
couldn't speak until 10
That's so
a.m.
cool.
So, but it's crazy, because when you do that, you realize what thoughts are playing out in your head,
Yeah.
what you're actually thinking about, and you're like, damn, these are the thoughts that are running through my head first thing in the morning. And as the retreat went on, it was so nice because I was a lot more relaxed. You're immersed in nature, so you're not
Mhm.
pressed or stressed. You're away from your phone, so no
Yeah.
deadlines, no meetings, no nothing.
Mhm.
And then I finally started to relax because when I would wake up in the morning, it's just like, okay, so like, what are we doing? Or what's the
Yeah.
next move? And as the week went on, I was like, I'm waking up with ease. I'm waking up with gratitude.
Mhm.
I can live my life like this.
Yeah.
And so even then, because we would eat breakfast at 9, so we have to eat silent breakfast. So the first one is just like you're making eye contact with people and you're just like eating. You're like, mm. Yeah, exactly. And so so that was really cool, and it's very refreshing. But then it was meditative in the way it was like energetic.
Yeah.
So we would do a lot of movement practices
Mhm.
and a lot of somatic practices,
Mhm.
because in this line of learning and teaching, it's told that the emotions are stored in the body, right?
Mhm.
Like we either suppress them for a long time or we haven't felt them. Like that's the whole thing about feelings. Like people don't like to feel things because it feels shitty
Yeah.
or whatever. Or
Yeah.
sometimes you can't even contain the good ones,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
So it
Yeah.
was all about really getting in touch with the body and moving your body. And let's say you have like pain somewhere stuck in the body, it could potentially be a
Like
trapped
move.
emotion or
Yeah. Yeah.
something.
Mhm.
So it was really intense.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
intense.
Mhm.
It would be a lot of dance, a lot of this movement, a lot of shaking your body,
Mhm.
and a lot of like emotional release.
Mhm.
Like so much of like parts of myself that felt like they were just dying.
Yeah.
This part that feels so ashamed, you
Mhm.
know. I felt like she was dying. The part that was like really needy, really grasping. I need this thing right now. It's urgent. It's urgent. Like I need
Yeah.
it. That part like died away. That was the cool thing about the silent morning. It's just like I don't even believe in this. Why am I repeating this? Because I
Yeah.
heard it or whatever. And so we would go and swim in the ocean in the mornings, like the cold plunge,
Mm.
which was amazing. It was so invigorating. Fire breath, a lot of ceremonies, a lot of rituals, like a cacao ceremony. Yeah,
Whoa.
where you like speak into the cacao. The same way you can do what I like to do in the morning is like get a glass of water and infuse the water.
Mhm.
I speak into the water in the morning and I'm just like, may this water be infuse every cell of mine with joy, with gratitude. May it wash away my worries and fear. And it brings a lot of softness into the system,
Yeah.
I think. And it's
And
a
like
nice prayer in the morning.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like also like like the power of like you visualizing that like the water you're drinking is like filled with amazing things.
Yeah.
I think that's so good to like have as a practice to like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just set an intention that like
Yeah.
today is, or like it doesn't have to be a good day, but if
Mm-hmm.
anything happens, like I have these good cells in my body and stuff. That's really
Yes.
cool.
Yes, and it actually, like, the more I do it, the more I'm like believing it now. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh yeah, no, my day is so joyful. I'm attracting such amazing people and experiences and opportunities to my life.
Yeah.
And then it makes it feel like nothing's a mistake that
Mhm.
happens, and it makes everything feel so sacred.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people just are like, oh, that happened, like whatever. But it's like maybe if you bring more sacred intention, not even sacred intention, but just intention into your day to day life, whatever.
It gives you
It
purpose.
gives you a bit of
Just
purpose. Yeah,
yeah.
you're just like, no, I'm doing the best that I can, but I'm gonna set myself up to do the best that I can. Because
Yeah.
sometimes people can say like, I'm doing my best, but they're
They're
just
like
saying it as
talking,
an
yeah.
excuse
I'm
or
doing my
something.
best, but then why are you telling yourself that you're like not worthy of anything?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
It's
do that sometimes.
No, me too, me too. Like I'm only human.
I want to like give the chance for you to like leave the audience with any like spare words or like
Oh
any parting
sure,
words you have, like a little love
sure.
letter.
Oh, a little love letter, of course. Oh, that's so precious. Yeah. I would say to the audience at home, um, we're so much more alike than we think.
Mhm.
We're all part, if you choose to believe this way,
Yeah.
of one source
Energy.
energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And a beautiful mindfulness practice is to just become aware of the things that you tell yourself every single day.
Mhm.
Um, there can be so much beauty in your life if you choose to see it.
Mhm.
And a lot of the time, we forget that we have this choice.
Yeah.
So even when you're blessing a morning glass of water or the meal that you're about to eat, little things like that really go a long way. But I think when we recognize that we're one,
Mhm.
so I see you and I can see the love like
Yeah.
within you,
Yeah.
rather than first being like, I wonder what's wrong with her, or
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
something, or whatever.
Yeah, especially
Because
in a,
yeah,
like it's nice for you to say that when we are in such a highly competitive
yeah,
field of
hmm,
like athletes, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, totally. And so you just see that like first, and then when you go up to compete, right,
Mhm.
and you go up behind the blocks, you're like, I see you, I love you, right?
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with you because whatever
We're racing right
you
now.
may me yeah you may be mirroring to me or whatever, it might be something within my own self.
Mhm.
When we go up to race, I'm going after this because I know I deserve it. I
Mhm.
know I'm worthy of it and I'm going to give my best. So it's
Mhm.
like some people are like, "Oh, when you're so like spiritual and grounded, man, like you're not competitive." Like that couldn't be further from the
No,
truth,
yeah, yeah.
because you go after your heart's desire with
Yeah.
the fullest fire, like behind you,
Yeah.
like take no prisoner
With the source.
with the source energy, okay?
I'm going into the pool with the source,
Yeah,
girl.
exactly. 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 And then with that, like, you know, and then should it happen or should it not happen, right?
Mhm.
You keep going, man. You
Yeah.
keep trying, keep going, keep trying. Do not give up. Like, don't
Yeah.
give up. You need a break, take a break, but don't ever give up on yourself.
Yeah.
I
Aww.
think that's my love letter to everyone. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Aw. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Olivia,
so
for
much for this
being here.
beautiful
Let me hug
conversation.
you.
Yes.
Oh, I
Thank
really
you.
loved it,
Me
actually.
too. Thank you so much. It
And
was
thank you,
beautiful.
everyone, for
Thank
listening.
you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for listening.
And I'll see you guys next time with another episode. Bye.
Bye.